coolersonsale.com here for a review and ice test results of the Engel UL60 60 quart cooler, UL standing for ultralight. This cooler is slightly different than many of the coolers we've reviewed in the past in that it is injection molded versus roto-molded. So what does that mean for you at home? Well, it means that it is roughly 20% lighter versus a comparable size roto-molded cooler, and the best part is roughly 30% cheaper versus a comparable roto-molded cooler. I'll throw our Engel 50 quart up here. This is a roto-molded cooler. This cooler you've seen in many of my reviews in the past. We've had it for 10 years. Again, 50 quart versus a 60 quart. Right now on Amazon, I believe this cooler is roughly $269 and this cooler is $220. I do believe that the Engel coolers are a little bit cheaper on their website, so keep that in mind. But it gives you a reference point of the difference in terms of size as well as price point. So the obvious question is going to be, well, I'm getting a bigger cooler for cheaper. What about performance? Engel advertises 7 days of ice retention. I can tell you right now, we are in day number 6. We are running an ice test on this. I'll save the ice test results for the end of the video, but so far 6 days in, I don't think we're going to have an issue going 7 days. So certainly performance has not been sacrificed by going from a roto-molded cooler to an injection molded cooler, saving a little bit of money and obviously saving a little bit of weight as well. This cooler is 21.5 pounds, so certainly a lot easier to move than a comparable size roto-molded cooler. Another difference that you get with the Engel UL60 is the presence of a wire basket. So this wire basket fits right in the top. You've probably seen this in our prior videos where we were testing ice packs. I was adding a thermometer there. One feature that we really like that's comparable with Engel coolers is that their ice packs fit perfectly in the bottom of the cooler. So you can add an ice pack and it fits right nice and snug in there at the bottom of the cooler. And as you can see as well, guys, this cooler is wine bottle capable, meaning that you can add a wine bottle and close the lid of the cooler without an issue while it's standing upright. I'm not sure about champagne. I believe it should probably be the same, but nonetheless, wine bottle capable, meaning you can close this. Handles 80 cans and 85 pounds of ice. So you're getting quite a bit of internal room. But the reason that I've always chosen to use an Engel cooler in our travels, I've been cross country multiple times with my Engel 50, is for a reason that I don't think gets talked about enough, and that is external size. I have access to 50, 60 different coolers, as you guys know, but I've always chosen to use the Engel 50 quart cooler for one reason. And that's was I was trying to fit the cooler in the bed of my truck. At the time, it was a Nissan Titan with a tri-fold tonneau cover. And most coolers, when you get up into the 50, 60 quart range, are just too tall. You can never close the tonneau cover. I ran into the same issue in my Ram 2500 as well. So truck beds that are shorter, you may have an issue when you're trying to close your tonneau cover if that's an issue. It's not obviously not an issue for everyone, just something that I've always been concerned with because I wanted to keep my cooler hidden so that it wasn't stolen. If you guys are keeping this in the back of a truck bed, there are locking points, and we've done an entire different video on how to actually lock your cooler. So you can chain this up in the bed of your truck, but nonetheless, I've always wanted to keep it hidden under a tonneau cover, and certain truck sizes, the shorter mid-sized trucks, I think have an issue with a tonneau cover if it's not tall enough. So I'll flash the dimensions, not only internal, but external, because I think it's not only applicable to trucks, but also I've seen this issue with my best friend who has a Robalo 246, so a 25-foot center console boat, and he's trying to get the biggest cooler under his leaning post or his center seat. And obviously, with the frame of that, there's certain size restrictions, especially height, right? That's one of the top issues that I see run into when you start getting into these larger size coolers is can it actually fit, right? So again, something that I don't think is talked about enough, but I'll throw those dimensions in the video as well as on coolersonsale.com when we do a full write-up. And now, of course, the answer to the question that everyone's been asking, right? Can it hold ice for 7 days as advertised? In fact, how long can it hold ice? As you're seeing right now, we ran this test the exact same way we run all of our tests in the past so that they are consistent. We filled the cooler up with ice, let it chill for 24 hours, drain the water down, added ice back on top, added a couple beverage so that you get an idea of a visual representation at home, and then open the coolers 3 times a day. These coolers have been sitting outside for the entire duration of the test. I've recorded temperatures, I believe, as high as 116, 117 degrees. You probably see I'm glowing right now because it is hot. So it's not like we're running this test in the middle of January. The cooler is performing very well in the middle of summer and staying outside through the duration of the test. So as Engel advertises, certainly think we can go 7 days. Yes, I know there's going to be comments. I did fill the cooler completely to capacity with ice, but it has also been sitting outside for the duration of the test. So I think in terms of real world results, we're going to fall somewhere in between, right? If you're having a cooler, you're not going to leave it out in the blazing sun for the duration of the test. It's going to be in the back of your truck, in your SUV. You're going to at least be able to put it under a tree on a camping trip, whatever. So I think it's a happy medium to understand what can the cooler do when it's filled to capacity and it's sitting out in rather harsh temperatures, right? Again, 116 degrees on the surface of the cooler and extremely humid here in Florida. So all in all, I think a very solid performance up there with a roto-molded cooler for a 30% hair clip in price and a 20% reduction in weight, right? 21 and a half pounds. This is significantly easier to move than some of the comparable size roto-molded coolers. So a nice middle of the road $200 cooler for those that are looking for a solid performance, but they don't want to spend $400 on a roto-molded cooler. Engel has met in the middle with the injection molded cooler. This cooler comes in multiple different color options. I'll put those up on the video as well and add that to our full write-up on coolersonsale.com. I hope this is helpful, guys. I'm really impressed with this cooler. If you've enjoyed the video, please give us a thumbs up. It's what helps us to keep going. Subscribe, and we'll be back next time with another video review.